Hi and welcome into my kitchen this very early morning. It's only a little bit after 5 here right now and I can already hear the birds outside singing. And I am just going to make myself a cup of coffee before I'm going to fold some laundry, and I hope you will join me. I will be back in just a little moment. So my coffee is brewing and I'm just going to get my laundry and put it all here. I love doing this so early in the morning. I think it's so cozy. It's early, it's dark outside. I hear the birds outside singing. I am making myself a cup of coffee that I'm going to enjoy while I'm doing this. And I'm so happy that you are here spending time with me while I'm doing this. And you know what? Maybe you need to do something right now, and I can be right there with you and we can do this together. I can fold my laundry. Maybe you are going to fold your laundry, or you are going to do your dishwasher or do dishes by hand. Whatever you need to do. Maybe you're going to cook some breakfast or make a cup of coffee. Okay, I'm going to get some more on my laundry. And my coffee is done, so I'm bringing that along too while I'm here. So if you watched my last video when I was taking a nature walk with Alfie, my dog, you could probably, no, I don't know if you could see that actually. Yes, you could see it, because when I came back home again, I was cleaning out Tiny's nest area. Tiny is a little cottontail bunny. I have a few videos about her when I'm telling her story, if you want to see, and if you want to see her babies, I have a video of her babies too. Her first a little litter of her babies. Tiny was born outside in my garden last year herself, and she was the only survivor out of 5 siblings. They all died of a cat attack, which was just horrible. But I'm talking about that in another video. And anyway, I was going to say that when I came back home, I was cleaning out her nest area since her babies are not there anymore. And then you could probably see that I was wearing shorts. And it's been going from winter to spring to summer to winter, back and forth. And then we had summer weather. So I had shorts on. And it just felt so strange to all of a sudden, from heavy rain and really cold, and then I could wear shorts. It was just wonderful, such a wonderful nature walk, and I so enjoyed it. And I really enjoy the weather right now when it's not too hot, because I can't stand when it's too hot. I can hardly be outside when it's really, really hot. So this weather is just wonderful as it is right now. Yesterday, it was a little bit warm, I would say, but the wind was pretty heavy, and that kind of makes it cold. So, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Just having the right clothes on and everything is fine. I'm going to take a little sip of my coffee. It's so wonderful to take the first sip. And the time is now almost 5:20 a.m. Oh, wonderful. Actually, I need to get, I don't want to put it right on the tablecloth. I got this tablecloth from my parents. Right, I think about when we bought this house, and that is many years ago. So I'm very, cautious about this tablecloth. I love it, and I will always remember that I got it from my parents, and so it means a lot to me, and I think it's so pretty. So I don't want any stains, no coffee stains. So I'm just gonna grab a coaster. I have so many coasters. I have small ones, that a glass fits on, or a mug, and then I have those that are larger, and sometimes I can just fold them in half, and that works well too. But this is one of those, you know, where you use them under a plate. And this one I got from my sister. So that means a lot too. I don't want any stains on that one either. So I gotta be careful. It's okay though. I mean, I can always wash everything if it's needed. And then I was going to lit up my candles here. I have my little remote for that. I think I forgot that in the living room. Hold on, I will be right back. I must have been putting that somewhere to forget all about it. It seems like, because I can't find it. I don't know if maybe I put it here. Huh, that's strange. Where did we put that? Oh, here it is. I found it. There it is. It's so small, so small and so thin. So here we go. On with the candles. We gotta have them. We gotta have them. We gotta have it cozy in the morning. And of course, I have my little plants standing here all the time. Let's see, put them like that. I'm gonna sit down for just a little bit and just enjoy a little bit of my coffee. So I was going to tell you something about Tiny. I think that if you have seen my other videos about her, you probably know by now how much she means to me. We have this very special bond. She's a wild animal, and many times it can be difficult to create a strong bond with them because they are scared. The bond that we have is so special, and I feel like she has grown to trust me and trust my husband and trust Alfie, our dog. And that means a lot. It warms my heart like nothing else. And that makes me feel like I'm very protective over her. We have a lot of cottontail bunnies around here. There are tons. But Tiny is the one who always stays. She can run around here and she can play with her friends, and she always comes back home. And I have noticed something now after she became a mom, and that is that since she was putting her precious babies in the area where she had her own nest, so to speak, her own bed. And I say bed because it's an area that is right behind our door in the back of the house, out to the garden and to the yard, so to speak. And I can see her from my dining area, that we have a big window there, so I could always see her laying there. And she started also to lay, so that one that I was talking about now is like under a rake, a big rake. So I always let that rake stand there, and it was old grass and everything, and rocks and stuff there. So she was always protected. She was protected when it was really hot outside. She was laying there to be protected from, from the sun. And then in the winter time, she spent her time there. So she was out at night eating, meeting her friends. And early in the morning, she always came home and she was laying there. So I always knew where she was at. In that area, right by the wall, in the corner, there is where she put her babies. Because to her, that... Oh, I'm getting emotional. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know I was gonna feel this way. I get really emotional. Oof. To her, to Tiny, that was the most safe, the safest area that she could think of. So she made the choice to put her babies there. And I feel so grateful and I feel so honored that she did that. And she even let me and my husband and Alfie to be close when the babies came out. We were sitting down talking to them. I never tried to touch them. I never tried to touch her or anything like that. I never reached my arms out or do anything to scare her or her babies. We are just very still, but I'm talking to her a lot, and she's used to that. And I think I'm getting so emotional about that. She and all bunnies, all animals, of course, but since we are talking about her, she's so incredibly smart, so incredibly smart, and I'm just so amazed because we have a Holland lock bunny, and we have had a lot of bunnies, me and my husband, and because they are such incredible animals, and I can't even count how many pets I have had during my lifetime, so to speak. I'm 54, so I had my share, so to speak, of animals, and I have always been, so close to all of them. So also another thing is why I'm getting emotional is because I noticed a small change, and I'm not taking that personally at all. It's just that since Tiny became a mom, her instinct is to protect the babies. So she came here to feed them, and then she stayed on a distance to not bring attention to the nest and to the babies, which is exactly what she should do. Then when the babies left the nest, they scattered and they kind of disappeared, and then they came back and she was feeding them, and they kind of met here in the garden. And that was just for a few days, and then they were just gone, and we haven't seen them. And that is okay, because I feel like they are doing exactly what they should do. They're out exploring. But I'm worried, I'm like so worried for them that something is going to happen, because we have cats. Like I said, what happened to Tiny's siblings. So it worries me. And like I have said before, this is life. Life is like that. And but I accept it, that it is that way. I have no other choice. So so the change that I was telling you about here is that Tiny is around still, but she doesn't come here to her old area, so to speak, because there is where she used to have her babies. And I know that it is an instinct in her, that she for her it's still where she had the babies. She was keeping her distance, for predators to not find her little ones. But I miss her so much. I miss her so much, because I used to be able to look out my window and there she was. And that also kept me so calm in my heart, because I knew where she was at. And then there is another thing that happened, and I think also that is why I'm so so emotional about this. Just gonna move that chair a little bit. I was gonna fold laundry, but here I am. I was gonna tell you this story, and then I wanted to sit down a little bit, and just to have some coffee, and then I'm getting so emotional, and I didn't mean to get this emotional. I can't help it though. Oh, when it comes to what's in my heart, this is a reaction that I can get early in the morning and everything. I hope that you will bear with me. So on Saturday, my husband, he was roaming around a little bit in the yard, because he was going to pick up some sticks. That's been when it's been really windy and they fall off the trees. So he was going to pick up some sticks, and then he came in here and he said, I need you to come out here, because I need to show you something. And it's something that looks like a part of a bunny. I just dropped everything I had and I walked out there with him. So then under this evergreen, where the cats are always walking, when they are walking between us and the neighbor's house, it's a pretty wide area, and there is this evergreen, and there are bunnies, including Tiny, and they lay under there when it's really hot or when it's winter, and we have a trailer standing there, and it's a lot of old sticks and stuff that's laying on there, so the bunnies like to be under the trailer, and it's great because they have protection under there. But we also see that the cats are looking around a lot in that area. So when I came out there and I was looking under the evergreen tree, and he was right, there was a piece of a bunny, because I said right away to my husband that what it is that it's a tail. It's a bunny tail. A fine cut, so to speak, laying there all fluffy. And my heart just sank, and I thought, only the tail is left? But the thing is that there was no blood. We could not see a drop of blood. There was nothing. There was no mess or anything. It was just a little bit of fur. Just a little bit of fur. And a little bit of fur that, has been flying away in the wind, so to speak. Just a little bit, because we were looking around in the yard to see if we could see something else. It was nothing. It was just this fluffy tail. It's horrible no matter which bunny it is. Absolutely. But since I have such a special bond with Tiny, of course my thoughts went to her right away. I think that's just natural. But then I'm hoping that the bunny who don't have this tail anymore, I hope that bunny is still alive. Because I know that a bunny's tail is so incredibly delicate, and it can come off in an attack, and the bunny could still make it if they don't get an infection. If it's been attacked from behind, from a cat, and the cat has been getting a grip, so to speak, on the back and down by the tail area, so that the tail came off, and then some of the fur. I hope that is what happened, and I hope that bunny is okay, that wound from the tail where it came off, that will heal, because the tail wasn't bloody. It wasn't bloody, and it was not a mess of any kind. It was just off. But then we have seen so many bunnies, and from far away. I mean far away, like when I'm standing in my window or I'm outside my door, and I'm looking in the garden and beyond, so to speak, and I see all these bunnies who love to be here. If I see 4 of them at the same time, I can't tell which one of those is Tiny, because they all look the same from far. When they come a little bit closer, then I can tell which one is her. And also another sign that she always gives me that it's her is that when I'm talking, or if I'm approaching a little bit, or I take Alfie out, she is the one who does not run away. And usually those friends that she brings in here, so to speak, to us, they look to her to see if she is scared when we are coming out. And since she is showing no fear, then they show no fear. We just care so much about her, and the other ones too. But this bond that we have, it's just so very special. It's just the feeling that I have never felt with a wild animal before. Because like I said, I've had so many different animals in my life when I was a child and growing up. Dogs, cats, hamsters, birds, mice, horses, cows, you name it. And they all mean so much. And I got my first bunny when I think I was 4 or 5 years old. And my sister then, she's 4 years older than I am. So we got our first bunny. Her name was Lisa. And she was gray and she was gorgeous. And I had an accident happening with her once. I was holding her like this in my arms, and she was laying on her back. And because I was holding her just like a little baby. And I didn't understand, so I very quickly, because she was so fluffy, so I very quickly put my head down, my face, to feel her stomach on my face, because and she did like this. So she kicked me in the eye, which she rightfully could do. And so I had to go to the doctor and get certain drops and stuff. It wasn't that bad, but my mom was really scared though that it was, deep cuts, but it wasn't. So it healed fast. But I remember her, Lisa, and she was so beautiful. And then I had my black one, and her name was Sotis. And my sister had a bunny too. And yes, I always had bunnies. And they are so special. And I had a very, very special bunny. Her name was Pumpy. Or I should say, that's a short for pumpkin. So I called her Pumpy. And I will tell you her story another time. Also so special. And I was absolutely devastated when she passed away. And she passed away right before we got Alfie. So he has been helping me through that grief, because she was extremely, extremely special. They are all special. All animals are special. But when I say that they are so special, what I mean is that I can feel a connection, a very, very deep connection with an animal. And then you can have another animal and you love it just as much. But the connection might not be as deep. It just depends. It's like that with people too. You can love a person, but you might not have that deep connection that you have with someone else. That's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with love. It just have to do with a deep connection, how you click with that person. So, and with that animal. And now I see that it's starting to get a little bit lighter outside. And oh my goodness, those clouds. I think it's gonna rain. The whole sky is filled with clouds and they are dark. Very, very dark. So yeah, it's gonna rain for sure. You know what? Did I get anything done? I didn't fold anything, but that's fine. I have time to fold it now. It's only 5:45, so it's been a while. And I have been sipping coffee, I've been telling a story, I have been crying in. I got it all out. Anyway, I'm going to get some more coffee because I want to heat this up a little bit. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to fold some laundry. Let me know if you were folding laundry. Did you have coffee? Are you still in bed? Please let me know. I would love to know what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to put some more hot coffee in my mug. Be right back. Okay. Coffee is hot again. You know what? I might just sit here and we can just sit here to lunch. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna fold laundry, but maybe I will just sit down and do it. Oh yeah, that is hot. I think it was a good thing that I got to cry a little bit. Thank you for letting me do that, because I feel lighter in my heart right now. I'm worried about Tiny, I'm worried about the babies, and we found the tail and everything, and it just bundles up in the chest. So letting that out actually felt good. I feel lighter. So thank you for letting me cry in front of you. I never thought I would do that, and then I did. And when you get that pressure in your chest and you feel like it's just coming and you can't do anything about it, You know what I mean? When you're trying to kind of like hold it back. I really did. And then I couldn't. And I thought, oh, what the heck? So have you been taking any nature walks? How is the weather where you are at? Have you been able to be outside in the woods or on the trails or by the ocean or by a lake or something? Or maybe just take a walk in the city if you live in the city. Um, I hope you have been able to do that because it's so wonderful. It's doing you so good, taking walks and getting some exercise and the blood flow is going. And I think it always feels so good, during the time you take a walk and then afterwards too, when you come home, you know, feel energized in a very positive and a good way. Walks have been helping me lowering my blood pressure. All of a sudden, out of the blue, I got high blood pressure. I think it was before I turned 50. And I talked to my doctor about it, and my doctor was great because she did not say right away, oh, I'm going to give you medication for it. Because I wouldn't want that. I don't want that if I don't really have to. I was thinking if there is something that I could do first for myself, if I can walk, if I can change something in my diet, then I want to try that first. And if I have tried everything and nothing helps, and I really need to get it down so that it's not threatening me in any way, in any bad way, sure, I'll take medication. But I told her I want to try something first, and she was all in on that. And she said that, if you start walking again, because I have always been pretty active that way, not saying that I've been going to a gym, for 2 hours, 5 days a week or anything like that, but I am pretty active and I'm taking care of myself and I am working out. I'm working out at home. And but it was a period there in my life when I did not walk. I don't remember exactly what it was about, but I had a reason for it that I did not walk for a few months. And I don't remember exactly now what it was because it's a good while ago. And she said to me that if you start walking again, you're going to notice that in about 21 days, in 3 weeks, or 20 days, but 21 days, 3 weeks, you're going to get your blood pressure back down. And she was right. It took me 3 weeks. And I walked Monday to Friday in the morning. And I walked for about between 45 minutes and 2 hours. Between there. I saw to it that I got around an hour, 45 minutes, but an hour there. But sometimes, some days, depending on, I did walk for 2 hours. So it was wonderful. But I mean, if I can get a half hour in, if I can get walking for 15 minutes, yeah, that's great. Better than none. It's awesome, to throw that in. So, yeah. Have you noticed that I've been folding the same? Ever since I've been talking, sitting down again, I'm talking so much. I've been folding on the same blanket. This is Elfie's blanket, one of them. I've been sitting here folding this. This is the only thing I folded. And it still looks hideous. It's not folded like... Oh my God, loosen it here. Okay, that's done. And then I was going to do the the towels. And then I had some other things that I washed. So I had like 3 washes, I think, that been sitting waiting. Oh yeah, here are these that I was showing that I put my coffee on before. that I got from my sister years ago. You know what? I think these are 20 years old. And I can't believe I can say that. It's so weird for me being 54 because up here and in here I am like, I don't know, 25, 30, and I'm such a child still inside. I carry Tilla, the child, very close to my heart, and it feels very important to me. It's very important. I would not let her go, ever. I wouldn't. She's so important to me. And but it's very strange. It's on the outside that I notice that I'm older, but on the inside I feel like I'm 25. So one thing that I very strongly, I can't point this out enough, regret, is that when I was 15, I thought the people who were 50, woo, they were old. They were old people. And I regret that. I mean, I didn't know anything else. I don't think I'm the only one feeling that, you know, I don't think I'm the only one who felt that way. But it's like heart-wrenching sometimes when I think about that. Young people today who are 15 and 20, they look at me and think that I'm an old lady, probably. So, oh, do you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? I bet you do know what I'm talking about. I can't be the only one feeling this way. I'm sure I'm not. So, yeah. Okay. Second thing I'm folding. What did I do with the... Oh, no. Second, third... I'm gonna cut. It was a good thing this isn't real. Oh, chargeable. Sorry. I need caffeine. Okay, here we go. Sip, sip. Well, at least we are laughing, right? I hope I could give you a good laugh about myself today, because it's just feel free to laugh at me. Oh, goodness. So please tell me, what are you going to do today later? Are you going to do something more around your house or apartment? Do you have a garden, or do you have a balcony? Or do you have windows where you can grow something when it gets warmer? A lot of things that you can grow in a window if you don't have a balcony, if you don't have a garden. You just need some soil and some seeds, and then you can grow something. And if you have a window where a lot of light comes in, it's just perfect. I know that a lot of people also have allotments that they go to. Those are so great. Those are so great if you live in a community, you know, where they provide that you can rent one, and you can, or maybe share a space with someone, you know, to bring the cost down, and you can grow some vegetables and keep your grocery bill down doing that. And also it's so wonderful to have that. Something happens inside when you're outside and you have your little seeds and you see it grow, and if you're planting, you know, some carrots and lettuce and stuff, and then you can eat that, you know, from garden to plate. It's just wonderful. That is such a heartwarming thing to do. Being close to Mother Earth. That is so important to me. I have always been that way. I remember I talked to my mom about that actually the other day. And we were talking about how when I was little or growing up, and I didn't like going into the big city to buy a pair of jeans or a new sweater or something like that if my mom wanted to take me out and we were going to go shopping for something. I could go to the mall or to stores, but I did not like that uh, crowded city life, so to speak. Um, I could think it was fun when we went there maybe around Christmas, and it's a lot of beautiful lights and decorations and stuff. But other than that, I prefer to go on walks in the woods and picking mushrooms and flowers and going by the ocean or a lake or having our family dog with us and see him run and be happy. It's such a thrill. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love shopping. Has nothing to do with that, but it's just that sometimes when it's too crowded, I still feel that way, that I have a difficult time with that. It's almost so I feel like everything is just buzzing in my head. And I just want to get home and hear the birds sing and just be surrounded by the comfort of my own home, so to speak. But I have been spending a lot of time in my 20s in town, going out dancing and partying, with friends and my sister. And I can look back at that and I can think, oh my goodness, how much fun we had. But there are also a lot around that time being in the city like that I don't miss. So I miss more, when my grandparents were alive and we were at their summer house and living at the farm and going to the ocean together, and all the birthdays and all the Christmases and all the love and everything that we shared. That is something that I miss tremendous. But all the memories are in my heart. And think about that if you ever feel sad when you miss someone or something and you have a sort of grief inside. Think about that the memories that you have, no one can ever take that away from you. It's always going to be there with you. Always. For all eternity, memories are always going to be there. And in those memories, these wonderful things that you experienced, those are always going to be there. So you can just take them forward and you can think about them and you can smile. And you can remember that person with a smile, with all this love that you have for this person still. And all the love that person gave to you, it's still there. Or that animal, or a place, an area, a house, something that you miss and that you feel like you have a grief in your heart. No one can ever take that away from you, your memories. It's always going to be there. I just want you to know that, because that's the way I feel so deeply. I feel that so deeply, that I can almost feel like I can feel lucky, and I can feel like it's an honor to be able to have such wonderful memories of people that are so dear to us, or an animal that is so dear to us. It's been such an honor, and to have been having them in my life for so long. And the thing is that when we are in the middle of everything, so to speak, when we are kids and we are growing up and we have these people or that person or that animal in our life, it's very easy to take everything for granted. When you are a kid and you have your grandma and your grandpa, you do take that for granted. That's the way it is. And if you have a wonderful relationship with them or other people. If you have a wonderful relationship, you do take that for granted. That's just the way it is. And what I mean with that is that you take it for granted that they're always going to be there. You don't, as a kid, think about that, well, one day in the future, my grandparents are not going to be here anymore. Because that would just create a lot of worry and a lot of sadness. Because you are enjoying every day together with these people or animals and whoever it is. I can tell you that I am 54 and I lost my grandparents around, let's see here now, a little bit more than 10 years ago. They passed away within a year of each other. And we were so close, so close. And I can tell you that I will never get over that they passed away. I will never get over that, because I think that many times what we do is that we are thinking that, how can I get over that so I can continue with my life, not feeling grief in my heart? Well, I have found within myself that when I accepted that I'm not going to get over it, I could handle it much easier. I have accepted that I'm not going to get over it. I'm not asking myself to get over it. Get over it. You have been grieving for so many years. Get on with your life. No, I'm living with it. I'm living with it. I'm living with missing them. But I can take out the memories whenever I want. And the thing is that sometimes I don't even have to take them out, because they are always there with me. I feel my grandparents all the time. They're always with me. They're always with my mom and dad, and my mom's sister, and my sister and my niece. They are always with us. And I feel that so strongly. And I am very sensitive. I am a very sensitive person. And I feel them strongly. So this is the perspective that I have. And I feel that that has helped me a lot with the grief. And that is what helps me every day to move forward and live my life. I was planning today on that I was going to have a coffee with you, and I was going to fold this laundry, and I was going to tell you a little bit about Tiny. And here we are, and it's 6:11 a.m. and this has been going on for a long time. And I know that I have to cut out some pieces of this video. Probably maybe when I smack the candle, or maybe I leave it, I don't know. At least we're getting a good laugh at it. I did anyway. I can laugh at myself anytime. It's totally fine. Yeah, so I hope to see you very soon again, and take care for now, and I wish you a continued wonderful day, okay? Take care. Bye for now.